Hey, welcome to my home. So this house is a traditional Victorian terrace. It's a 2 up 2 down home, meaning there's 2 rooms on this ground level, 2 rooms on the first floor, and then the landlady has renovated the attic room, so we've got that floor as well, along with basement storage. So in this home tour, I'm just going to show you the interiors because we very rarely use sort of the front door entrance, so that kind of porchway is not pretty outside. It's a serious makeover that I do need to take control of, including painting the front door, and our garden area is not yet completed yet. We're still waiting on some furniture that hopefully should arrive soon before the hot weather disappears. So let's start with the room that I'm in now, which is our kitchen. So this is our kitchen. We probably spend a lot of time in here. It's a great place to hang out while you're cooking and just chatting to people. Yeah, it's a room that I love and has had a lot of labour and love in it. This room has gone through quite a few transformations to get it where it is today. So when we first moved in, we decided to give this room a makeover. I painted absolutely everything you could see white, and it was just washed out. It was a light, bright space, but it was too light and bright, if that makes sense. It was just all the faux marble, all the cabinets, everything like that. So when it came to making over this room, I wanted to make sure to bring in a little bit of warmth, but still keep those neutrals, which is why I went for this like putty colour on the cabinets. So it's still a neutral, it's still bright, but it's just got that little bit of warmth, just a little bit of interest, which I have contrasted with the brass handles and knobs. The counters themselves, as you will see, they are no longer granite grey. They are this gorgeous marble. It is actually vinyl. This is peel and stick vinyl that many renters use in their home, and I can swear to how long it's lasted. This is about 2 years old, and we haven't topped it up. We haven't had to do any maintenance on this, and it has held up perfectly. Yes, there's a couple of stains from like curry spices, and there are a couple of scratch marks I can see right there from where I've clearly chopped something without using a chopping board. But honestly, you could not tell unless you just got up close and knew exactly where to look. And I swear by it, if you are renting or perhaps you have a kitchen makeover but you can't afford to get a new countertop, I cannot swear by peel and stick vinyl enough. It makes such a difference. When we did the second makeover of this room, which was about a year ago, last year during one of the lockdowns, I really wanted to ensure that we utilised every single drawer and every single nook and cranny in this space. We sort of throw things in and dealt with it, and now I was like, no, this is an organisation project that needs to happen. You can actually watch one of the organisational videos that I filmed right after I did the makeover, which is also a video that you can watch and I will link below. So when we did this makeover, we were really lucky that we managed to get a bigger fridge freezer. Originally we had like a chest freezer here, and then this cupboard here was actually where our fridge was. It was so small and completely, yeah, it just wouldn't have worked for us. So the landlady was very kind enough to say that we could get rid of that fridge and replace it with this fridge freezer, which I'm so happy about. With the space under here, what we did was get a IKEA carcass, so we weren't wasting the space, and then we just kept the door so it was cohesive with the rest of the kitchen. With the fridge here, I wanted to make sure we utilised the space around it, and I love these images on Pinterest where you see like the built-ins and stuff like that with the fridges, so I wanted to recreate that. Mainly because I wanted to create a styling moment and encapsulate it so it didn't feel like the fridge just stuck out from the kitchen, but also to utilise one of only 2 plugs in this kitchen. I just can't believe that our kitchen literally has only 2 double plugs, one here and one over there. It's absolutely insane. I don't know why. We wanted to make sure we utilise it, so I made this cutout here for our little Nespresso machine that is perfectly sized so you can get the water out of the back, but it also utilises the plug for plugging in the fridge freezer and also the coffee machine. So this room, as I said, is one room of two on the ground floor. There is a door kind of just behind the camera there that leads to our cellar and where our washing machine is. I have talked about this on my Instagram stories about how it's a makeover that I'm going to be working on, and I will be filming it, even though it's not a pretty space. A lot of you have said it would be really valuable to sort of see what I'm going to do with that space, because you have very similar spaces in your home. So that video is coming very, very soon. So from here, let's move into our living room. This is our living room, one of, if not my favourite room in our home. It's such a cosy room. It is north facing, therefore it doesn't get a lot of natural light in it. So when it came to making over the room, we knew we had to make it light, bright and airy, so it fitted in with our interior design in this home. This room was actually one of the first that we made over. In fact, the fireplace here was the first DIY that I did in this home. It was originally pine. Don't know what it was about this home loving natural pine wood, and I asked the landlady very nicely would she mind if I painted it white, and she was absolutely fine with that, and this is what it looks like today. We kept the original surround for quite a while. It was sort of a grey greeny stone. Eventually this year, right at the beginning, in fact in January pretty much the 2nd I think it was, I made over the fireplace by covering it with more contact paper in a different marble though than the one in the kitchen, because I wanted it to look like there was two different stones, but it would still have that cohesive feel of the marble. I love how bright it is now, although part of me is turning to more, do I want to sort of do tiling on here? A lot of these rooms I want to give a bit of a refresh to this year, so we shall see as to whether or not the marble contact paper stays on here. One of the other things that we did in the room is I wanted to, whilst embrace the light, I also wanted to bring some of the dark in it. And this room is a real reflection of what my style is today, which is that contrast, that vintage modern feel, but playing with the textures and the different colours and stuff. And the one way we did that was with these chest of drawers, these dark black chest of drawers, wooden ones. I love the look of built-in alcoves, especially in a Victorian home, but with us living in a rental, there wasn't much that we could do in terms of building the alcove, because A, they're expensive, and B, they're not really removable. So the way we counteracted that was get these chest of drawers in, which fit perfectly into the space. So they look like built-ins, but they're not. They fill the gap up quite nicely, and there's no damage done. We did, however, do one DIY, which is in the corner behind me, in which we built these floating shelves from wall to wall, so they fill out the entire alcove, so it does look a bit more built-in on this side. And again, keeping in with that dark, I painted them black, and I absolutely loved them. That kind of clash with the white wall and all the kind of neutrals and the textures, it's just one of my favourite corners to style. Right behind me is my home office. So last year I went from working from home, and like many other people in a similar situation, we had to carve out a nook for us to be able to work from home without having to work on the sofa or in our beds and everything like that. So I created this small little office space here in the living room, which is perfect for me. The desk is just that right size. The chair itself, it's not an office chair, but I didn't want to go for an office chair. I wanted to go for more of a dining chair, so that it was an accent chair when we weren't in use, but it was still comfortable to sit at when I was working from home. The desk also incorporates a bit more of that marble that I absolutely love, and it's just perfect. Though I will say, possibly it might be moving now that we're kind of reconfiguring the rooms around and our working situations have changed. And now I'm standing in what is technically our entryway. So when we did the room, what I did was put the sofa almost in the middle of the room. By doing that, I've created this sort of pathway from the front door into the home, thus creating a mini entryway. This is a great tip for anybody who doesn't have that sort of formal place that people would come through the door as. Just kind of block it off with a bit of furniture. Ideally, if I had enough room, I'd have like a little console table behind this for a bit more kind of decorative moment to block off the bulkiness of the sofa, but this will do for now. So with the entryway, a lot of it is just flat across the back of me because of the way everything is. We have this little area for our shoes, which I've clearly styled because it's never this neat with all the shoes on there and stuff. I really love the look of a console table in an entryway, but unfortunately with the radiator behind on this wall, there isn't anywhere to put one that doesn't sort of encompass the radiator with it. So with that, I did have to break one of my design 101s that I absolutely hate and use a radiator cover. I personally don't love radiator covers, but needs must in a situation like this where we needed some sort of flat surface to put stuff on, like our keys, you know, sunglasses, anything that we're sort of just light things chucking throughout the day onto there. So it does what it needs to do for now, and with it being white, it does blend in and it's not really visible, so I don't have to look at it all the time. So to sort of take the eye up, so you're not looking at it, I've got these massive pictures behind me that are stunning. I love them so much. So let's now move on upstairs to the bedroom, the bathroom and the landing. Fair warning, these rooms are not as pretty as these rooms, and I will explain more when we go upstairs. This is our landing. This is the space that connects the 3 rooms, the bathroom, the bedroom and the stairs up to the attic room with the rest of the home. This room had a transformation as well, much like the kitchen one. When we first moved in, this entire space here was limed green for some bizarre reason, and it was really noticeable like when you were downstairs because it started literally at the bottom of the stairs, the green upwards. So it was one of those rooms that very quickly I painted with just a bare bones white, and my god, the difference it's made to this room is just tenfold. It's gone from being this weird room that we passed through and absolutely hated being anywhere near to sort of bright, airy space that when you wake up and you look through at the space, it's just bright, airy, and yeah, you feel energized, ready to start your day. This room, or this space, really, it's not really a room, but this area needs a makeover. This is probably one of those ones that I'm going to start on first before I work on the other rooms that are pretty much complete but just need extra tweaks. This needs a lot of work doing to it. One of them being that the banister needs painting. I'm thinking of going for black with the whites in the middle. I also want to continue with the bookcases here and sort of do some sort of built out here with a bench to put stuff on and everything like that. It's become a bit of a dumping ground, this area. We all have them, you know, it's always that area where things just kind of get left to one side and everything like that. So I'm excited to make over the space just with a few tweaks, nothing major because we've done the major stuff by painting, you know, just give it a bit of a refresh and a bit more functionality, which is exactly what this space needs. So right behind me is the entrance to the bathroom. This is our bathroom. It's actually a really decent sized room. I know in most Victorian terraces, the room is sort of cut in half to create sort of a half box room and a narrow bathroom. I'm kind of glad that it's just being kept as one big open space in here because, you know, 2 of us can move around here quite easily, so there's no sort of like fighting to get in the room in the morning to get ready for work. And it's south facing, it's the room above the kitchen, so you get all this natural light coming through from this massive window that I'm looking at right now. And yeah, it's just a really nice space to get in, especially when I'm doing like my 12 billion steps skincare routine in here. It's just a great place to kind of feel refreshed and start the day in. We've already done a makeover video for this room. I will link it down below. The essential part of the makeover was just to refresh the paint and create more storage, which is where we added like this bathroom cabinet in and this kind of tower. Over time though, I've realised like it's not quite as functional as I want it to be, and it's not really my design taste, hence why you don't really see it a lot on my Instagram feed. I really don't like these tiles. It's just that wrong blue. It's not quite a bright blue, but it's not quite a navy. It's just somewhere in the middle, so it doesn't photograph great. If the landlord lets me, I would ideally love to paint all the tiles white and then do some sort of maybe board and batten on the top or some sort of print. I think wallpaper in here would be amazing because of how bright it is. It could really take on like a graphic print. So as I kind of briefly touched upon, there's a makeover potentially happening in here. It is all dependent on what I can do with the tile because like I said, it's just the blue that I don't really like. But other things that I really need to kind of establish in here is better closed off storage. This unit's great, but it's just become a bit of a dumping ground for everything. So, you know, even in interior blogger homes, there are spaces that aren't quite curated to perfection, and they're the places that we do not show on camera. It's a great room functionality wise, like I mentioned. It could just be tweaked a little so it's a bit more on my design level. So the final room on this floor is the primary bedroom. This is the primary bedroom. This room is north facing, it's the room directly above the living room. So again, it needed a lot of work to get it that light, bright feel. So it was a nice relaxing space to be in. We don't spend much time up here, but the time we do, I wanted to make sure we were relaxed, calm, just resetting. So it was a very nice place to kind of go in the evenings when you need to unwind, but also a great place that when you wake up in the morning, it's a bright space, you feel energized, ready to go, especially now in the summer with the sun coming through. It's just a really nice space to wake up in. The room originally was dark green carpet with yellow walls. It was not a good look. The carpet itself was so worn down that the landlady agreed to replace it with a neutral carpet. It's not the neutral that I would choose because it's a very grey carpet, but you know, we can always cover this with a rug at a later time. We painted the walls white. It's the same white that we've used across the home, so it's got that cohesion to it, and it's great because it just bounces the light and it just feels so much bigger and brighter in here. Other things that we did was we painted the cupboard. This used to be kind of like a weird wooden colour. We just painted it white to match the rest of the room, and I added a nice handle. This handle actually matches the ones that we have on our wardrobe. So there's that cohesion with the metals and the brass that runs throughout the home. The layout itself, this is pretty much where only the bed can go in this space. It fits quite nicely to bedside tables and the double bed. To my right and your left is my dressing table. It's a great space to kind of get ready in the morning. It's not so good with the light right behind it. Ideally, I would love it more with the light either to the side or in front of it, if that makes sense. But it's the only place really the dressing table can go, so it will do for now. Right behind you is the wardrobes that both my husband and I share. It's not the best situation, but again, needs must in a small home. We've got some plans to potentially increase the storage and separate our clothes once and for all. And then finally in the corner in the other alcove, this is where the TV is in the living room. We have a chest of drawers just fitting that space quite nicely, and I've created a decor moment with seasonal florals. It's got my jewellery stand on there, all my perfumes, a little picture of me and Lee from our wedding day. Just these little bits that add a nice touch. As you can kind of tell again from the way I was talking about the landing and the bathroom, it's a room that we want to potentially make over. We may even switch rooms, you never know. To my right is the door to the attic, which I won't show you because it's my Monica cupboard. It is absolutely, it's not worthy of camera at all, but it's a potential where we're not quite sure what we're going to use to it, and we thought maybe we could move upstairs into that room and create sort of a primary bedroom space up there. We shall see. Again, these are all things we have to think about, but the main priorities at the moment are getting the cellar done, and then that will allow us to work on the rest of the rooms. And that is it for my rental home tour. I do hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favourite room, and if you have any suggestions for makeovers that I'm planning in my head, I'd love to hear your feedback or any inspiration or ideas that you guys may have. Do let me know if you liked this video, and subscribe if you're new here. I'd love for you to see more of the content I'm going to be creating. I will link down below all the makeover videos that I've previously done, as well as any blog posts relating to makeovers. I'll also link to my rental section on my website. I have a whole section dedicated to rental interiors and design, so if you're looking to create your rental house into a home, you'll have all the resources right there, so you can just create a gorgeous space to live in. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!